Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here. We're doing a Saturday Share the Love Club for Jonathan Mogbo. Today is actually Scotty Barnes' 25th birthday. And well, we were lucky enough to say happy birthday to him in person last night because Scotty showed up for Twitch and did a live Twitch stream in the evening last night. And I appreciate Isaac and Trevor for raising the alarms and getting me to aware of that Scotty was on, and I got to interact with them for a while last night. It's very fun to hang out with those guys for a little while through the Twitch and chat with Jay Simpson and Lloyd and Nardo and Scotty. Really good times. So happy 25th birthday, Scotty Barnes. But knowing Scotty and how he is so considerate, so selfless, and so giving to those that he loves, just like his teammates, his family, his friends. I say on his birthday, we do a Share the Love Club for one of his best friends ever, Jonathan Mogbo. Of course, this summer, Jonathan Mogbo's contract was not picked up with the Raptors. And, well, he signed a two-way with the Sacramento Kings. And he's moving on to the next chapter of his NBA career. This is something that can be looked at as sad, but also can be looked at as something triumphant. You know, when Mogbo and Barnes were young boys, they dreamed of these things. And, well, they made them happen. That's crazy. How many kids out there do pick up basketball when they're young in their middle school? And they'd say, I'm going to be in the NBA. I'm going to be in the NBA too. And we're going to be on the same team. And we're going to kick butt. That's the dreams. So many young kids make that pact. We'll both be in the NBA. We're going to be there someday. Yeah. I'm sure these guys did this at some point. And, well, they made it happen. It happened. You know, the whole thing about Jonathan being on the Raptors the last 2 years, a lot of people have, I'm not going to say the word, cast aspersions. That's actually a different word than aspiration. They've cast aspersions. Yeah, don't get it twisted. That, you know, Jonathan's only on the team because he's Sky's best friend. But see, you know what? I will say this. Jonathan got a little bit more attention because of his connection to Scotty, but it was really kind of a thing where Mobo's an unearthed gem, that he is a diamond in the rough, that he was a player that was on the San Francisco Dons. He had not been recruited by a Division I team out of high school, but he went to college and he did what he's been doing since he got picked up by the Raptors for 2 years. He worked hard. He worked diligently. He did what everybody told him to do, and he did it to his best ability. And he got to the NBA. He got drafted in the second round, the first ever draft pick on the second day of an NBA draft in the history of the NBA. The NBA's always done their draft on one single day until the year Jonathan was drafted. And he was drafted officially as the first ever draft pick on a second round, second day of an NBA draft, right before Kyle Filipowski. That's history right there. In some ways, that's fun history. A little fun fact history about our guy J-Mo. But yeah, people cast aspersions. You know, Jonathan's only in the NBA because he's Scotty's friend. I'll say, yeah, he probably got some attention partly because of him. But when he got to the NBA, he did it all on himself. That's right. He worked hard. He listened to the Raptors organization. He listened to Coach Darko, and he listened to his coach at 905, Andrew Jones. He listened to the organization and Bobby Webster. When Bobby Webster said, we want you to play in Mississauga, but also we'll need you on the Raptors at times too. You know, in the last 2 years, in some ways, Jonathan Mogbo's had one of the heavier workloads out of everybody on the Raptors team. A lot of people didn't know that because they didn't watch 905 like I did and watched every single game. So I know just how many minutes Mogbo put on the court. I know just how much work he put in on getting his game better and better because I saw the improvements. I saw the progress. I saw him showing up every single time he could with no questions asked and not complaining or nothing, just dutiful basketball player, being there for what the organization wants. That got him a lot right there. I'm going to tell you right now, some guys would be upset and be like, I don't want to be on 905. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Jonathan said, tell me where to go. I need to get better. I want to do this. I'm going where you tell me. That gets you a long way. That gets you an NBA career when you have that kind of attitude. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the right attitude, to show up often, and show up and work hard. Yeah. So this summer, the Raptors decided to decline the option on him, and he was a free agent. A lot of things could have happened, but very swiftly, Sacramento came in and offered him a two-way contract, a two-way. So he is on the Sacramento Kings for sure this year with Precious Achiuwa and Zach LaVine. And well, this is a new chapter for Jonathan. And in some ways, this is fantastic. You know, I worried about parting ways with Jonathan eventually because I knew it would probably be inevitable and how that would affect Scotty and if he'd be pissed off. Well, Scotty seems to be taking it okay. And well, he's showing up to his summer league games for Sacramento to support his best friend, which is awesome. This is a great opportunity for Jonathan. And the reason why is some people may have cast aspersions that Jonathan's place in the league is partly because of Scott, but now Jonathan's not tethered to him anymore. He's on his own in a new franchise in a new city, back in an area of the country that he's familiar with from his San Francisco days, and he can carve out his own niche. He can carve out his own role. He can carve out his own story, and he can show that Jonathan Mogbo is worthy of the NBA spot that he holds. And it's not anything to do with his good friend, the all-star, Scotty Wayne Barnes. Yeah. Yeah, this is a fantastic opportunity for him to show he is a man on his own 2 feet. And I love this. I love this for him. You know, Jonathan is a very good player. He's got a very good body for NBA. He's got a nice quickness to get up and down the court, and he's got an all-round skill, just like his good friend, Scotty Barnes. An all-round skill where he could get any stat category needed on the court. You need him to get a steal, need him to get a block, need him to get a rebound, need him to get a pass, need him to hit a three. He can do it all too, just on a lower level than the all NBA Scotty Barnes, but still worthy of a spot in the NBA. Very valuable. In fact, the Kings see it, and that's why they snatched him up immediately. You know, he could have been sitting out there a boat out in the middle of the ocean and marooned in the middle of the NBA offseason. But very swiftly, as I said, Sacramento came and knocking and said, Mr. Mogbo, would you like to be a King? And he put that signature on the dotted line. And now he is a King. In some ways, it's sad because I enjoyed him being on the team. You know, I've been a staunch Jonathan Mogbo stand these last 2 years. There's been some people that have been disdainful, critiquing, saying a lot of unintelligent and unknowledgeable shit about Jonathan Mogbo and his game and who he is and what he does. And I had to educate them. Let's just put it that way. There'll be times we'd be watching 905 and I'd be in the chat, being very active with my good friend, the super fan Monique Lawrence, and even sometimes Sportsnet contributor Blake Murphy will be in there with us. And some crazy Chinese guy would come in. He'd say, Jonathan Mogbo sucks. Jonathan should be off this team. He's horrible. Talking all this trash. Well, I'd have to lay the verbal smackdown on him in the chat and let him know a cute few facts and a few things that he needs to understand about J-Mo. And that disrespect would not be tolerated by either the super fan Monique Lawrence or the Raptor freak that you see on your screen right now. No, we've been standing for Jonathan this whole time, as Scotty would want us to, especially on his 25th birthday. That's right. So I salute you, Jonathan Mogbo, a man going out on his own at this point, a man going to make his own story. In a way, he's already been making his own story, but there will be a very clear distinction that he is on his own now without his best friend as the franchise player. Yeah, this is you see Thonsis getting picked up by other teams and the one Giannis is on. No, you don't. So don't you be casting those aspersions anymore. That's right. I know I'm dangerously close to saying that word. It's like a buzzword now. I feel like we should treat that word aspiration like the secret word on Pee Wee's Playhouse, where we would be kind of like, if somebody says it. Or maybe it's like, you can't do that on television. If somebody says the word aspersion, like Kyle Lowry did in his retirement ceremony in Toronto recently at the beginning of July, maybe he should have got a green slimed for saying the word aspersion. Siakam said the word aspiration in his interview with William Liu. There's a green slime there. You said aspiration. Don't say that word. But y'all, share the love for Jonathan, please. Please get in the comments today and tell me things that you appreciate and love about our guy Mogbo, the first ever second round pick on the second day of an NBA draft. That is going to always be history. And he will always have that footnote and that part of history. And also remember, Jonathan is one of those Raptors that got a triple-double. That list is not super long. And that was very much a huge highlight at the end of his rookie year, pulling in that triple-double in a Raptors jersey on a Raptors court. So he is always going to be a part of Raptors history. Oh, yeah. That triple-double list is coveted and remembered by me. That is right. So, yeah, share the love for Jonathan. Last night on Twitch, we asked about Jonathan and where he was and why he wasn't with the guys hanging out at Scotty's house in Toronto. He said he's on his way and they get here today on Scotty's birthday. So they can all hang out. It's really fantastic that Scotty's got his crew here in the T-Dot right now, hanging with him for his birthday weekend. It's so joyous. You could tell Scott just gets such joy and jubilation from being around the auras of his dudes and having fun and palling around. And who knows what they did last night? I'm sure they went out to the city and they lived that OVO Drake life doing whatever the hell they wanted to, as far as going to clubs and bars or restaurants, maybe going to check out some cool places to hang out in the great mega city of Toronto. That's right. So happy birthday weekend, Scotty Barnes. And you and your friends be safe, enjoy yourselves, and just have a good time. The Raptors Freak is so happy to get a moment to share with you guys last night. And I appreciate y'all giving me the respect y'all did when I came into the chat last night. Lloyd knows me very well from talking to me for years. And he said, "Oh, Scotty, Raptors Freak is here." And Scotty came over and said, "Oh, Raptors Freak's here, eh? All right." Scotty was happy to see me. And, they know me because I've been coming on their Twitch for so long and talking to Lloyd and Scotty. And yeah, I got to talk to Jay Simpson for a bit last night. James Simpson said the classic words, "Man, Raptors Freak knows his shit." That's what he said. Yeah, because I'm in there typing. I'm talking to them. I'm a fast typer. And I was telling them, yeah, I know who Jay Simpson is. Jay Simpson is a Florida State Seminole who played on the Florida State Seminoles basketball team with Scotty Barnes. And Jay Simpson's like, whoa, he knows me. He knows who I am. He knows who I am. Yeah, you're not just some dude they're saying that looks like Jose Alvarado sitting there. Yeah, no, I know you, Jay Simpson. I'm a Seminole too, just like you and Scott. And very, very, very happy to see you there. And we kicked it and talked some basketball. In fact, Jay Simpson knows about Scarborough Shooting Stars. Jay Simpson knows about Toronto Tempo. He went to the game with Scotty the other night, sat next to him at courtside near the end of the bench. Yeah, the game was a blowout. It kind of sucked. But also at the same time, like I said yesterday, Scotty understands this is a expansion franchise. And they're starting out and they're getting things. Big move yesterday, though. And we talked about that on the stream, too. Jay Simpson brought up the Morrow trade that happened yesterday. Monica Wright Rogers, good job. And we kind of talked about it a little bit. And, it's a very interesting conversation. Some people read it different ways. That they were trolling the WNBA. But I think that, honestly, they're talking about it. And they went to the game. And, they're young. In some ways, they're kind of idiots in some ways. But also in some ways, they're also, they're trying to be more open and respectful to new things. Scotty's first reaction when we talk about tempo is like he's excited about it, but he's not totally like into it. He's like, I'm excited for Toronto to get another basketball team. The tempo. He's not gonna fake. He's not fake. He's not gonna be like, oh, I'm so excited, oh, and be like faking it. No, he's being his authentic self. He thinks it's cool. People asked him, "Are you gonna go to tempo game?" And he didn't really answer the first time. A few Twitch streams ago, about 2 months ago, but he has gone now. He went to the game against the Lynx on Thursday night. So yeah, let's share the love for Jonathan. Let's share the love for Scotty on his 25th birthday, living his best life, having his crew around. He has his babies, he has his life, his pro career. He has so many things to look forward to coming up, and this season is going to be awesome with the addition of Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, it was a very fun, lively chat, and I always appreciate the opportunity to directly interact with Scotty Barnes through Twitch. Yeah, I always appreciate that. Yeah, he's busy. He's got a whole crew there. There was a lot of them there. And Lloyd, thank you for being there. It was good to see you. And nice to see Jay Simpson, Nardo, Nick, and the whole rest of them there. Even Durrani. Yeah, Durrani, that was an issue there. The story of Durrani is very interesting. Much like Lloyd, Scotty met Durrani through NBA 2K and playing the video game. In fact, we were all there when he met Durrani. Isaac Campbell, Tom Duke, Fiercey, Cool Cat, Monique. We were all there in the chat when he met Durrani because Scotty was recruiting for more players for his 2K team. And Durrani's like, I can play, Scott. I can play. He's really wanted to be in there. And Scotty's like, all right, I'll try you out. And Durrani did really well. He played well for Scott and ingratiated himself with Scotty playing the video game because, Durrani, I think, lives out west. He actually was living in Alberta or something when he first jumped on the 2K and Scotty recruited him and he became part of his team. Now, as of yesterday, Durrani's in person in Toronto as a part of his crew, hanging out with him for his birthday this weekend. That's how the video games will bind people together. Scotty was very proud of that last night on the screen. He said, see, guys, through video games, you get good things that happen to you. He said this in the past before. Who says video games are a waste of time? Lloyd and Durrani get to be a part of my entourage because of video games. Yeah, it was cool to see Durrani for the first time on screen. He's a bigger guy than I thought. He has a beard, a big, huge beard. And everybody wanted him to shave it live on the show. Yeah, people were like, they even put up a poll on Twitch. Should Durrani shave his beard? And everybody said yes, of course. Durrani was not having it, though. He was like, I don't want to shave my beard, guys. And I was like, get a fresh cut. And this poll is binding, is what I kept saying. And the peer pressure was there. Scotty was like, yo, man, just shave your beard, man. It's my birthday. Do it for my birthday, man. But Durrani wasn't having it. He wouldn't do it. So they said, okay, do push-ups instead. Birthday fun for Scotty and his guys, man. And what a blessing and a privilege to be able to connect with them when they go on live on Twitch and to chat with them. Yeah. And I really do appreciate the respect and love shown towards me in the chat, not just from them on the other side, but also from the chat in the chat. Thank you, Isaac, and other fans of Scotty for saying, hey, it's Raptors Freak. Oh, Raptors Freak. They were all happy. People that watched my show here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, let's see what y'all are saying this morning on this Share the Love Club for Jonathan Mogbo. That's right, the great Jonathan from West Palm Beach, Florida. That's right. We're raising up with Scotty Barnes, and dreams were met, and dreams have been exceeded, and dreams are coming true. That's what's happened for those young men. That's right. Trevor J saying this, words of wisdom from the Commissioner of Fun, Trevor J, holding it down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, not too far from where Barnes and Mogbo used to kick it all the time. Life will keep repeating the same situation until we respond differently. We all have patterns to break. Growth doesn't require a perfect life. Just a different choice today is another chance to make one. It's weird how you wrote just one on one line. I guess you ran out of characters and you had to put that one part there. One. Yeah, I mean, there's that saying that says foolishness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Yeah, that's a pretty common saying and a word of advice. I would argue, though, that that's not totally true, because you can actually do the same thing over and over again. And then all of a sudden you get an anomaly and something that happens that is totally different from it. But it's probably true if you really want faster results to switch it up and experiment and try different methods until you get the results you want. That makes sense. That makes sense. Blessings to the Jones family and all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. Trevor's saying this: Washington beat Dallas last night. Austin put up 28 points, 10 rebounds. Yeah, I'm not covering the WNBA completely, so I'll move on from this comment because this is not actually in my wheelhouse. I didn't pay attention to the game. I didn't see it, so I don't care. Trevor's saying this: I'm very happy that the Tempo finally got a player like Anissa Morrow. I'm going to say her name right. Is Anissa, right? Anissa Morrow. She is very good under the basket with rebounds and very strong. What a great young player. Yeah, I did a little deep dive on the acquisition yesterday. I feel smart for pointing this out possibly in the morning and then an hour later it happening. It was the ESPN article I was looking at. And the way it was worded, I could read through it that I thought this was very likely this Morrow trade was going to happen. And it did. And let's go over it a little bit. Morrow trade happened yesterday afternoon, and we found out that Maria Klondikova, who was drafted in our expansion draft but did not report to play this season, which is a red flag right there. In fact, part of it was because I think she's had a baby in the last year, and she needed rest, and I don't know. There were all kinds of reasons. I guess she just wanted to pass on being a part of history with the Toronto Tempo in their first season for whatever reason. Yeah, I'm glad she's off our team because it didn't seem like she was that committed. And it's very good that we got a good asset that's ready to play for us right now for somebody who's being flaky and kind of just hanging out in Russia all season. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's even some indication that Klenikova may not even return to the WNBA, regardless of whatever team that is having her rights. So, the other thing about this situation is that it's very apparent that the main motivation, so the Connecticut Sun on this one, is that they're trying to lose more for the rest of the season. That they want a very good draft pick next spring, or I guess it's not next spring. If they do it all on time, it'll be this fall. And in some ways, they're trying to shift downward in the winning and losing column. And moving Morrow helps them to lose a bit more for the rest of the season. We did give up a second round pick in the year of 2028. So that's 2 years from now. Second round pick. Well, we got a first round pick, a number 7 pick in Morrow. And that was the 7th pick 2 seasons ago. She's got 1 year under her belt with Marina. Her rookie year last year was playing in Connecticut with Marina Mabry. So they have a familiarity and a chemistry from before. And then this year, her second year in the WNBA. She's very young. She's only 23, and she's led the NCAA in rebounding 2 years in her college career. This is boding well. We need rebounding, right? Well, and also she's known as Abnisa. Yeah, Abnisa. What does that mean, Lex? Well, go check out some of her social media and you'll find out what Abnisa means. Yeah. In some ways, we've seen Isabel Harrison come to the games recently with a bare midriff and some definition on that 6-pack. Morrow's on a whole other level. In fact, it's going to be interesting to see. She's averaging about 9 points and 9 rebounds a game right now this season. And that's what we need. We need help up front. In some ways, the addition of Morrow will alleviate the workload of Yescada and Conde on the front line. In some ways, they've been overworked by a lot of minutes, but also being playing out of position and having to play a lot of big players down near the basket. So Morrow will help with this. Morrow is not a true center. She is a forward, which is good. Now, in the aftermath of the deal, Timapui was waived yesterday. I did give her the second star in the loss to the Minnesota Lynx the night before, but now Puyi's gone. I warned you, Tima. I warned you this whole time. You need to go and get it, and you don't have no time to waste. And I was right. So I'm sad to see French player Timapui has been dismissed. and is waived from the team at this point. Now, but I am happy that we've switched a guard for forward and we got a little bit bigger. Because to be honest, we have more than enough guards on this team, and we have needed forwards and centers more and more on this team as the season has gone on. So Moro's a good upgrade. It'll be interesting to see how she slots into the lineup as far as rotation. I'm sure she'll be in the rotation, but it's unclear whether she'll be a starter or not. I don't think she was totally starting in Connecticut, but I'm not totally sure. It's great with the timeline of Kiki Rice and a young core. She's definitely a piece that we can add to the mix that probably will be here and useful in the core for years to come because of her age and where she's at in her career. So I'm excited to see her in the Tempo jersey. And well, its indications are that she will be immediately coming in and playing for us right away as soon as Golden State tomorrow. So yeah, this is good. This is good. This is a good upgrade. In fact, I want to do the Toronto Tempo Redditor of the day right now, and it is Kaz on Reddit. Kaz on Reddit is a good Redditor for the most part for both the Raptors and the Tempo, and he has posted a Monica Wright Rogers appreciation thread. Look, I've been trying to figure out our front office for our Tempo all year. I've had question marks. I've had wondering what the hell are they doing? Are they wasting their time? Are they not paying attention? What's going on here? Well, this move gives them a big score of a plus from me on this move. I think this move was fantastic. I think that Monica Wright Rogers did a very good job, and I have to show appreciation to her, just like Kaz on Reddit. This is what he's saying here. Trade deadline is far from over, but getting Moro, a young, talented front court player who can play now and grow alongside rookie Rice, that's exactly what I was thinking, for a second rounder in a few years when one expects the Tempo to be good is terrific business. It's more than one can say for the interesting move the Toronto Raptors made leading up to their first ever trade deadline. Unlike Eddie, I'm looking forward to what else this wholly unrelated but still a funny coincidence Rogers has up their sleeve. Yeah, it is. It is something I've thought about, like Monica Wright Rogers, Ed Rogers the third. Yeah, I've thought about that connection at times too. But yeah, I think that this is a win for Monica. This is definitely gives me a little bit of more trust in her as a GM, because that's the thing with the GM position, the front office position for a basketball team, you have to earn my trust for me to fully endorse you and say that you're, somebody that I can, get behind and like feel good about what you're doing without knowing what you're doing. I have the trust in Masai Ujiri. I have the trust in Bobby Webster. I have the trust in Teresa Resch to a certain extent because of her track record with the Raptors and the very, very, very good work she did as an executive for that team for a long, long time, because I'm familiar with her. I'm not as familiar with Monica and Eli and the front office of the Tempo, so I'm having to learn them. I'm familiar with Sandy Brondello. I trust Sandy Brondello because she comes in with a resume that's very, very spectacular. I trusted Darko little by little. I didn't totally trust Darko right away, but I gave him a very clear, open chance to ingratiate himself and prove himself, and he very much did that. But Monica, this is your first real thing that you've done that I'm going to give you big points for, and I'll tell you that I'm starting to trust you if you're going to do stuff like this. So here's an appreciation thread for Monica Wright Rogers pulling the trigger on a deal that we speculated in the morning, and well, a couple hours later it was real and it came through. And that's what I'm saying. In some ways, my biggest complaint about the Tempo all year is that we did not build this team with enough rebounding and enough up front. Well, Anissa Morrow helps with this. Anissa Morrow helps with this. So thank you, Monica. Thank you, Monica. We're going to share the love for Monica Wright Rogers at some point too on a Saturday for sure. We will. That's right. Trevor J saying WNBA YouTube people went crazy about this trade for the Tempo. They were saying that other front office should learn something from the Tempo and get more for less. Well, it's an opportunist move for sure. She read the room in Connecticut as well, about to move to Houston. And in some ways, they want to start a new chapter in a new city and a new look. And maybe this whole team that's in Connecticut right now is going to be disbanded to an extent itself. People like Brittany Griner and other people that have been playing for them this year, they may be in different places. I heard that Brittany Griner is getting divorced right now, which is interesting. But yeah, Connecticut is having a yard sale. Let's just put it that way, a yard sale, because they've done this in the past. Teams that are kind of changing, they'll go ahead and say, "Hey, it's like going to your neighbor's house and saying, whoa, this is a really good cookie jar. This is a Kyle Lowry cookie jar. What a great tchotchke. Yeah, how much is that cookie jar there? What do you got? Yeah, I think I want that. Yeah, you get it real cheap because yeah, we're having a yard sale. So Connecticut's saying you have a yard sale, and well, Monica Wright Rogers pulled up the driveway and walked up and seen what they got, and Morrow was something she got. That's it right there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be a couple of things. It could be that Wright Rogers has people that she is friends with or people she's connected with that are like wanting to work with her. And that's a good sign because it could be that the Sun could have sent Morrow to a couple different places, but they wanted to talk to us and they did the deal with us. I think that the thing that they wanted the most in this is not even Klundikova. It's that second round pick even. It's just that. And it's really for the Houston Comets. It's not for the Connecticut Sun. A second round pick in the 28 draft, that's going to be a Houston Comets pick. That's going to be a Houston Comets pick. That's right. Isaac Campbell is here. Good morning to the benevolent one, Isaac Campbell. I'm going to give you and Trevor both dunks right now for raising the alarm. It's just like Paul Revere and the great history of great American history, good history that should be talked about. All history of the United States is not good, but we should talk about all of it. But Paul Revere, the British are coming. Well, Scotty's on Twitch. Scotty's on Twitch. And that's the declaration that I heard through my social media last night that got me in there to see him. A 112 on the dunk charts for Isaac and for Trevor, because you guys both rose the alarm. You're both out there riding on horses. That's right. 78 for Trevor J on the dunk charts right there. I appreciate both you guys. Let's see what Trevor's saying. Isaac's saying. Thank you, Jonathan Mogbo, for your help in bringing Scotty along, but also for your help in rebuilding the Raptors culture of defense first. Only love and courage on your journey, Mogbo. I love this. And this is such a personalized, beautiful message. Let me break it down for you a little bit, the inside part of it. Thank you, Jonathan Mogbo, for your help in bringing Scotty along. Scotty and Jonathan's friendship is a formative friendship, which means they met at a young age and went through becoming a man together. That's the thing. And, things about Jonathan's connection to Scotty were absolutely essential for the success of Scotty. And then the one hand washes the other. And some of the things about Scotty were essential to the success of Jonathan. Scotty was in an interesting place in his early life at a certain point. And well, he went and stayed with Jonathan's family for a bit to make it more convenient. He stayed with Jay Simpson's family for a bit too. And he's had a lot of help from his friends, his very close friends like Jonathan and Jay, to help him raised up with good role models and good support just in life. That's the thing. So this is what Isaac's talking about here. Not only that, Jonathan's a very intelligent guy. And, birds of a feather flock together. And sometimes you take on the characteristics of people around you. So Jonathan, a very strong man of Christ and a very intelligent person, was a good person to rub off on Scotty. And, it's just, that's what Isaac's talking about here. In some ways, are we our brother's keeper? No. But Scotty was really helped by Jonathan and vice versa. This is just the truth. So in some ways, we can partly appreciate and thank and love Jonathan Mogbo because of his role in bringing us the Scotty Barnes that is on our team. Yeah, you can say that. You can say that. Also for helping us in rebuilding the Raptors culture of defense first. That's the thing. And that's why I told you, Jonathan will go wherever they tell him to go to play. He's going to be on a two-way for the Kings. So he's going to probably play in Stockton a bit. But not only that, it's what he'll do for the coach. The coach tells him to do something, he'll go do it. And because I said earlier, he has the all-round skill to do anything on the court, he can really be versatile and help them in different ways. We've seen Jonathan be a ball carrier up the court. We've seen Jonathan be a defender down low, but also a defender around the horn on small guards because of his lateral quickness and his ability. In fact, some of Jonathan's stats on defense in the NBA are very premium if you compare them around the league as far as his defensive stats. So, this is something I was talking about in the stream last night with Scotty and Jay Simpson. I said Jonathan Mogbo had an underrated year this past season for both Raptors and 905. If you did not watch Mississauga and the Raptors 905, then you do not understand what I'm talking about, because you had to have seen just how much he did for Coach Drew Jones III's team. That team was extremely successful this year. They had broke records in the G League for best record in the showcase part of the season in the beginning of the year. And they did very well in the second half of the year, too. It was a very, very successful year in Mississauga. And Jonathan Mogbo was a big key part of it. I'll say that right now. Yeah. Yeah, I love that you put the roller skate in there, Isaac. That's such a nice touch, considering the whole roller skating motif between Scotty and Jonathan. We saw them at a skating rink this summer, actually, and Scotty was gliding around effortlessly, and Jonathan was having a little bit of trouble over in the corner. Of course, the famous clip of Scotty rollerblading down the streets in Florida, and Jonathan's filming him. That was hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, great stuff, Isaac. Great stuff. I feel like giving you another dunk just for the roller skate. Just for the roller skate. That's just such personalized appreciation and love shared for Jonathan Mogbo right there. That's just such personalized stuff. That is a Moticon giant kind of work, like our friend Tommy. That is a Moticon giant work right there. That's right. All right, 115, my guy. 115. I have 115 in my life, in my heart, and that's Amir Johnson. That's right. Only 115 in my heart. Kaz is saying this. Good morning, everyone. So happy with the tempo trade. Multiple fan bases are jealous we got Morrow for so little. Monica, we see you. There you go. This has turned into an impromptu appreciation party for Monica Wright Rogers this morning. Yeah, we see you. We see you. And I love this. Kaz has really been taken to the WNBA the last couple of years with our league, our fantasy league, and the tempo being around now. I love the enthusiasm some of us are showing for this new team, like Infamous and Trevor and Fiercey and Cool Cat. So many different Raptor freaks are really getting into the tempo, and Kaz is definitely one of them. And I appreciate that. I think that it's been a fun season. It's been a little bit tough lately, but for the most part, this season has been a joyous time and a true celebration of new horizons of basketball in Canada. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So other fan bases are jelly. All right. Let them be jelly, right? Trucker Kaz, let them be jelly. That's right. Kaz is saying this also. Thank you to JMO for helping our guys get better. Hopefully you can stay in the league a long time. I'm telling you right now, that's the difference between some guys who get bounced is the guys who come, show up, put in the hard work every time, and they do as they want, as the team asks them for the organization. They ask you to play Summer League, you play Summer League. Elijah Martin. You do. Yeah, you play it. You should, because you're a second-round pick, and you should have played this year. Yeah, I'm not going to let that go. Yeah. If they want you to go to the G League team and play there, you do it because they know better what's good for you. And, anybody who's like above being on G League, you do not have the right. If the team thinks you could use it and you need to go there, you should listen to them and not listen to your own ego inflated. That's right. I have a feeling because of his attitude, his work ethic, and the things I just said, he will stick around in the league. And that's the whole point. In some ways, Jonathan's lucky. He got the great tutelage of the great Chris Boucher for a couple years there on the team, or at least 1 year. He got 1 year of being around Chris. And Chris is the kind of guy that could tell you how you stick in the league as somebody who was undrafted and came in through the back door to make a very long NBA career himself. That's right. So he can say it. Yeah. Yeah. Isaac's saying, did you see Scotty play guitar? I didn't see that part. Was that at the beginning of the stream? I might have missed that. I did get in there probably about 15 minutes after it started, but I was there for the bulk of it after that. But no, I don't think I saw him strumming the guitar or playing the guitar. That's hilarious. I wonder if he was any good. Was he playing it good, Isaac? Was he doing like Jimi Hendrix shit? Yeah, was he tearing it up? Did he do some Dimebag Daryl? Infamous is saying this. Salute, freaks. Fantastic trade. Yeah, Infamous was so excited about this trade yesterday. He texted me. He's like, I'm overjoyed. This is a great trade. I love that. I love getting those texts every once in a while. When there's good tempo or Raptors news and the Raptor freaks are texting me because they're excited, I love that shit. I love that. And Infamous was excited yesterday. He had to send me a text. I love it. Salute, freaks. Fantastic trade. Addresses issues. Okay, I was like, whoa, is Morrow having an address issue? We got to help her. We got to address in Toronto. Where's Sam McDaddy? Where's Sam McDaddy? Morrow has an address issue. Yeah, can you get her address? We seen what you did for Marina Mabry. Can you get Anissa Morrow an address, please? Sam McDaddy. Oh, I'm sure he's on it. Nav, you get a car? Great rebounder, especially on the offensive end. Two-way player, young player to go with the core, strong as hell. Didn't give up much at all to get her. Yes. It's like Dire Straits, money for nothing. Dun, 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 dun. You get your players for nothing and your chicks for free. But yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about her. And well, I'm excited to watch her play in our jersey and know more about her from watching her very closely as a tempo now and breaking her down in the reactions after the games and praising her and speaking of her greatness. That's what I'm looking forward to doing. Is propping her up like Flavor Flav does the Public Enemy. That's right. Hype man here. Yeah. Let's go, Morrow. That's right. I'll be a hype man for you. That's right. I'll tell your legend to the internet on YouTube every morning at 9:30. Yeah, Morrow. I will be hyping you up. That's right. I will be making you big by talking you big. You're going to be playing big, and I'll tell your legend. That's what I will do. That's right. Trevor J saying the Sun is trying to get Juju. That's why they want Juju Watkins. Yeah, that makes sense. It will be fun to see Morrow and Isabel both on the floor together. Isabel's excited about it. She is. She posted it. I checked our tempo players, and they're out in San Francisco already. The matcha baddies have got their matcha batch in San Francisco already. Niara and Maria and them getting the matcha already out in San Francisco. A few of the players showing love towards Anissa already. Isabel, Niara, Marina. Yeah, they're all like, welcome. Thank you. We need you. Thank you. Rebounds. Oh my God, you're here. That's probably a lot of the reaction right there. Yeah. Marina sending a nice post to Tima too. Also, as she's yeah, it sucks. It's a tough business. And you really got to take those opportunities when you get them. You really, really do. That's right. Nameless is here. Good to see my friend, the plumber. Good morning to you, sir. It's the weekend. I hope you're having a great long weekend. That's right. What's up, all you beautiful, wonderful Raptors fans? What's up, Nameless? Good to see you, Paisano. I hope you're having a great, great weekend. It's bellissimo. I want your weekend to be bellissimo. My good friend, Nameless. I never know his name. I never want to know his name. His name is Nameless. That is his name. That's right. Infamous is saying this. Experts love this trade and say with a healthy starting lineup, we can compete with some of the best. It does bolster us. In some ways, it's a lot of reinforcements for Harrison and Sabali and Fagbenle and Yesketa up front because we need it. We need that extra rebounding. We've been getting rebounded badly. We ain't being able to hold off Collier and Howard like this week. It's very, very tough. So hopefully she's ready to go as soon as possible. She did play for the Sun the night before she got traded on Thursday night. And, so she's healthy. And she was one of the people that did the post-game interview after their game the other night. They lost that game on Thursday. So in some ways, I don't know. Is this an upgrade, Morrow? Going from the lowly Sun to the very fancy new expansion team in Toronto where you can have a broad focus across the whole country and you can be shown the ropes from your old friend Marina Mabry. That's right. I think this is an upgrade to Morrow. I hope that she's into it. I hope she's excited. Let's see how quick she gets in the lineup. That'll tell us something right there, right? That'll tell us something right there. Trevor's saying lots of people want this point guard, Hannah Hidalgo, for the Tempo next draft pick. Okay. Okay. Well, I haven't done any scouting for WNBA draft, so I'm not familiar with this player, but I'll keep this name in my mind for coming up. So her name's Hannah Hidalgo. She's a point guard. Why are we getting another point guard? Why would we draft a point guard with our first round pick in this draft coming up? We drafted a point guard this year. So it's like, why would we do this, Trevor? This seems like a dumb idea. I can already assess it with logical thinking. It's like, why are we stacking at point guard so much? No, we need a forward in this draft. And in some ways, Hidalgo, if that's a point guard, I'm steering weird from it because we got Alamon, we got Rice, we got Mabry, who can even run point guard. We got Sykes, who runs point guard. It's like 4 of our top players are point guards. So why the hell would we draft this Hannah girl? Just because people are saying that? Nah. If his ESPN's mocking that, well, I'm mocking ESPN for once again giving bad advice to Toronto basketball teams. So yeah, nah. Is that who they're saying? This sounds like Jalen Suggs to me. This is what this sounds like. That's right. They're selling out before they move. So they've already been selling out games in Houston before they move from Connecticut. That's crazy. That's crazy. People are starved for it. The rich history of the Comets and their quadruple Pete is a big epic thing, and people want that feeling again. They want that feeling again. I feel like the losing the Comets was a fumble by idiots, and it was actually not for any reason because of the team or the thing. It was just bad people were running it, and they mismanaged it, and they lost the team that way. I think I remember it somewhat being something to do with the city. It's often the city and the facility they play in. It's a dispute, and that's why things move or something like that. Nameless is saying, what Mogbo has done for our franchise cornerstone player is invaluable, forever indebted. Yeah, I mean, it's true. That's an old aspect that we need to talk about with Mogbo is the formative years of Scotty, and Scotty's getting influence from him as a best friend. He could have had a much worse best friend, I'm telling you. And they could have been running rackets and going to do some devious shit instead of heading to the basketball court and LA Fitness all the time, right? They could have been doing all kinds of other shit that could have been wrong. So it's a good friend that he had near him that was a good influence and was a good person to be around. And that's another aspect that, some Raptors fans may be lost on, that, Jonathan was a very important person in his formative years. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Kareem Thomas is here, our multiple-time Raptor Freak dunk champion. KT, what's up? The fact that we kept our first-round pick and were able to get Anisha for a second, what if we fucked around and took our first-round pick and got Lauren Betts or Brink? We could establish a front court. Well, I don't want Lauren Betts. I'm going to say this right now. Lauren Betts is a dead end in this league. Oh, my gosh. Did Lex just say that? Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching her, and she's clunky. She's slow. In some ways, I don't truly believe she's going to be a force in this league in some ways because she's not that skilled. She's just big. That's all she is. In fact, she's very clumsy. So I don't covet Lauren Betts. I really don't. Even though she played with Kiki in college, I don't respect her totally because watching her this season off the bench for the Mystics, she hasn't totally impressed me. Let's just put it that way. The first game I saw her playing was one of her first games. And yeah, that makes sense. But even when we saw her again later in the season, when we circled back and played the Mystics again, there were some signs that she's coming around, but there's still something about her player type and her size and some of the things about her that I don't like. I don't totally like. Now, in some ways, I need to always adjust my perspective for WNBA versus MNBA. So I'm getting used to the differences there too. But yeah, Cameron Brink would be somebody that I'd be probably fine with coming to the team. But in some ways, I don't feel like she's not the right kind of big either for our team right now. because in some ways I would argue our Cameron Brink coming up is Tiani Key. And Cameron would be good for shot blocking and maybe kind of like being at long further. But I see Tiani Key playing similar more and more to Cameron Brink as time goes on. It's just that she's got to be developed and unleashed. So I don't know. To me, I think the person we initially wanted at the beginning of the season, Austin, is really the one that would have really been the right archetype and the right kind of player and the right kind of skill bag that we needed this year was Shakira Austin. Yeah. Let's see. Kareem saying dominance with an already guard heavy team. Well, you're going pie in the sky, crazy ESPN trade machine fan right here. You're talking about a lot. Just because she did Moro doesn't mean she can move mountains. Seriously. And the rumor says this: Monica came to the Sparks, offered a first round pick for Cameron Brink, and the Sparks said no. So once again, we don't live on the moon like Monica Wright Rogers and Bobby Webster. We do not understand the job of GM and how difficult it can be, how much different aspects of it we don't see because we just plug it into a computer and say, oh, this sounds good. Let's see if it works in the ESPN trade machine. No, there's all kinds of aspects. There's personalities, there's agents, there's some players will be like on the down low saying certain things like, don't trade me to Toronto. I won't come there. There's all kinds of different stuff. So, pie in the sky ideas here, man. And honestly, what is our whole goal for the rest of this year? It's not to win necessarily. It's to develop, it's to build the foundation and to continue to practice the good habits. But it's not necessarily to go for a championship or build a team all of a sudden that has to compete for a championship right now. This trade deadline move is smart because it's opportunist and getting a wholesale move in a clearinghouse because Connecticut's moving. And that's the right time to strike and get it. But most of the stuff we do for improving the tempo will be in the off season before the second year of the tempo. That's when we'll do stuff. We'll have to see how it works. That's right. Shaq Lindsay is saying here that Kawhi Leonard is reporting to camp. Yeah. Michael Grange reported it's like Kawhi Leonard will be in Quebec City when we start our training camp. He will be there. Now, there's a clip on Raptors Reddit right now. Last night, they had the Mississauga versus Scarborough Pro-Am game at Pan Am Center. I did not go. I did not see what it was all about, but Dylan Brooks was in town for the game, and AJ Lawson and performer Neon was there too. And there's a clip on Reddit right now with Neon and Dylan sitting at a diner, and Neon brings up the Kawhi trade to Toronto, and Dylan goes, he said, it's not going to happen. Dylan's being a troll. First of all, we know Dylan's a troll. We know Dylan's a liar when he wants to be funny, and he's just trying to fuck with people. So Dylan Brooks is purporting in this little dinner with a performer at Neon that the Kawhi deal will not come through and Kawhi will not be in Toronto. Doesn't that sound like haterade? Doesn't that just sound like Dylan Brooks is underneath the bridge as goats are passing overhead of him like he's trolling? Yeah, he is. Like he knows anything. Why the fuck would he have any insider knowledge of Kawhi Leonard over, I don't know, these ESPN heads and everybody else who are covering the hell out of it? Even Pablo Torre probably thinks that Kawhi Leonard will be a Raptor eventually, no matter what, anyway. But Dylan Brooks is the one voice saying, no, he's not going to be a Raptor. He's trolling. He's being a hater. He's trying to ruffle feathers. He's trying to rage bait. Yeah, we can see right through it, Dylan. In some ways, you can only cry wolf so many times and understand this. Like, why the fuck would Dylan Brooks know better than anybody else? It's not like Adam Silver likes him. Oh, you think that's what happened? Seriously, we'll do this. Hi, Dylan. It's Adam Silver. I feel like you're such an important player in the NBA that I wanted to tell you the results of the Kawhi aspiration scandal investigation before anyone else in the entire world. Yeah, I'm telling you even before Steve Ballmer and Kawhi. So you go ahead, listen real quick. Oh, I'm listening, Adam Silver. He's not going to make it to Toronto. Please don't tell anyone, especially not in a diner with a performance artist named Neon. I won't. Like, he knows. Why the fuck would Dylan Brooks know what's happening with Kawhi Leonard? Seriously. Like, seriously. Oh, I get so many technicals and suspensions. I'm all friends with the NBA head office. I talk to them every day. I'm paying in installments. Yeah, I have to. I have to talk to them every day because I have to keep up payments for all of my misdeeds. Is that what this is? Seriously, what's going on here? Isaac Campbell's saying this. Laugh out loud. He slow strummed an acoustic like Dwayne Eddy or a Dick Dale intro. Awesome. Dick Dale. Little surf rock. Cool. It was pretty psychedelic. Awesome. Yeah, Scotty. Psychedelic Scotty. Yeah. So I put fire emojis, and Scotty said I was the only one hyping him, and he shouted me out. Of course, he's going to hype up great Raptor freak Isaac Campbell, an original Scotty Barnes Twitch family 2022. Of course, he's going to shout out an original family of the Scotty Barnes Twitch family. Oh, yeah. 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 And then they call some of the chat started calling you Glazer, didn't they? Yeah, they do that. Oh, look, Isaac Glazing, Scotty. Isaac Glazing, Scotty. Hey, proudly. Yeah, that's our guy. That's our franchise dude. That's the dude who's going to get us the second one of those up there. Larry O'Brien championships. That's right. Go ahead. Glaze away, Isaac. Oh, you think that's a bad thing? You're going to say that I'm glazing him? Yeah, you're fucking right. I'm glazing him. That's my dude, Scott. And he plays psychedelic Dick Dale guitar. That's right. Glaze away, Isaac Campbell. And let the haters talk their shit. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. That's right. Isaac's saying, I saw you got there right after when you appeared in the chat. See, I kind of remember that. That's why I saw they're saying, oh, Isaac's glazing him. Isaac's glazing him because he put the fire up there and said, Scotty, great guitar work. Great guitar work, man. You're ready to play with Justin Bieber. I figured this out, right? This is an interesting little tidbit about Scotty on his 25th birthday. I think that one of the biggest influences on Scotty is our great Canadian Justin Bieber. No, I'm serious. You got to think about it. When Scotty was a young kid, Justin was pretty huge. And Justin was like something that a lot of kids were listening to then. Because if you really watch Scotty, okay, like watch his mannerisms and kind of the way he holds his face and some of the ways that he kind of acts, he is kind of mimicking Justin Bieber kind of facial kind of stuff and the way he carries himself. No, seriously, think about what I just said and look at it because young people are impressionable. They get raised with people on TV and in music that kind of influence them. And I'm pretty sure that Justin Bieber, even unconsciously, may have slightly influenced Scotty in his demeanor and the way he even carries himself and maybe some of his facial expressions. I'm serious. In some ways, they have a similar face, Justin and Scotty. They're both handsome men. So it's like, do you see what I'm saying, or am I crazy? I don't know. Maybe Scotty would be like, yo, Raptor Streak, I love Justin Bieber. I actually do really love Justin Bieber. And you know what? I listened to his music all the time when I was growing up. If he said that to me, he'd be like, yo, Raptor Streak really kind of pays attention. He knows his shit. Well, that's what they were saying in the chat yesterday. That's right. That's bona fide stuff. I should go clip that out. Get Jay Simpson say, yo, Raptor Streak knows his shit, bro. He knows his shit. And Isaac, thank you for pumping me up in the chat also at those moments. I appreciate you for that. That was awesome. Yeah, Kareem saying this. Shout out to Mogbo for being the first player in the 2024 draft to record a triple-double. I hope his career mirrors something similar to Precious. I think it may be confusing over there. Of course, Jonathan is a famous story before he even got drafted to the Raptors, and Scotty was a rookie. He's friends with Scotty already. He came to Toronto to hang out with him. And there's a classic moment where Scotty and Jonathan are at a Shoppers Drug Mart, and there's a Raptors fan who comes up to them and says, hey, Scotty, I love the Raptors. And hey, Precious, just Jonathan. They thought Jonathan was Precious. But now Jonathan's on the same team as Precious. So will there be mistaken identities between Achua and Mogbo? I don't know. But it's fun stuff. I think it's cool that Jonathan's going to get to play with Precious. And I'm wondering if like Scotty's like talked to Precious and he's like, yo, take care of my guy, Jonathan, while he's out there. Come on now. Take care of him, Precious. We'll have to see how this all goes coming up. Let's see how this goes. That's right. Bellissimo. That's right. Bellissimo. Most beautiful. That's right. Kaz is saying, I hope Anisha starts. She doesn't need to come off the bench. Well, we'll just have to see how it develops. A lot of this is on Sandy and her vision. Her starting lineups, I'm starting to learn kind of how she does them. It really is true, and this is an adjustment I've had to make in general for the WNBA, that their 3 guard lineups with 2 bigs is the WNBA. That's just how it is. Marina Mabrey is really a guard, but she's kind of the forward. She's in between. She's the 3. In some ways, I could like just do them by numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 is usually a guard in the WNBA world. So I don't know. Where does she slot, Cass? Where do you think she would slot in the lineup? Because ideally, what is our lineup if everybody's healthy? It's Sykes and Rice at 1 and 2, and probably Mabry at 3, and then Harrison at 4, and probably Niara at 5. And Morrow is the first big off the bench, and Temmie's the backup center. That's kind of the way. And then the Euros go back to being role players off the bench, more like Delaire for the Lynx. Conde and the Delaire role is probably what would have been better for this year in some ways, and not so much workload and stuff like that. It could very well be that Monica, along with the trade deadline, heard some of the noise in the articles, like our Isaac posted about overworking players causes more injuries. So she's like, we need help. We need help on rebounding, and we need help because we need depth, because we don't want to overwork our tempo so that they're getting more often hurt. This is sort of the learning curve. The Raptors lessons, Teresa can take the lessons from being around the Raptors franchise and the things that she learned from sports management from that. But it's a whole new setup, and it's a whole new thing. And there's all the kinds of lessons that a young team has to go through. The Raptors had to go through a learning curve as a franchise with mistakes. And there's going to be a certain amount of mistakes in the Toronto Tempo's early history too that are going to shape and they'll learn from. Like, there's probably a book, like I said, there's a book out there that Masai helped write with Bobby and Teresa that tells you this is how you do the franchise right, and you safeguard it from these issues and this issue and this issue. In some ways, the Tempo are out there free and clear and just winging it and doing what they do, but they're going to have tough lessons where mistakes could be made. Like, one of the things right now that you could, and I don't want to be a hater, and I don't want to be telling people how to live their lives or micromanage. Obviously, the nutritional habits of the Tempo are questionable right now. Let's just put it that way. They're all over their social media eating junk food and all kinds of crazy shit, drinking Coca-Colas on the bench and shit like that. Maybe that'll fly in an inaugural first season. But when we tighten up, we're going to want them to be dedicated to nutrition. That's right. So, yeah, go ahead and do it now. But if we really want to be the ultimate competitive team that we can absolutely be at the top of, we may need to cut out some of the junk food and really get that focus figured out there, because that can help contribute to injuries. Just I don't mean to be a killjoy. And in some ways, I'm like, live your life, have a freedom, do whatever you want. You're awesome. But also at the same time, if we're being really serious here and you want to avoid the team getting hurt, you got to have depth on the team by making sure you have enough front court players. And maybe you shouldn't be eating a whole bag of caramels, okay? I'm not going to point out which Tempo I seen doing that. I'm not going to. I'm not putting them on blast, but I know who it was if you saw it. All right, let's keep going. Infamous is saying this: the up-and-coming WNBA draft is way guard heavy. Actually, the next 2 years are guard heavy. This may explain the trade. Interesting. Well, we do definitely need to covet a big, and specifically a center. Like, it'd be really, really good if we had somebody the size of Betts or Cardoza or Austin, just to be able to go toe-to-toe with them. In fact, Benley is the biggest player on our team. Sabali is pretty good, but the issues with them being in and out of the lineup, we've needed another center. We've needed another center on the team. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Sometimes there's just waves of like a lot of guards and then a lot of like bigs in different waves and drafts and leagues, right? Right. All right, let's see. Kaz is saying this: Lex, Chloe Kitts will be in this upcoming draft. She is locked at 10th right now, mocked at 10th right now. There is a 7'3" center from China too. Oh, see, that is getting my attention. The eyes, he put them there in emoticon. They're on my face too. Oh, that's right. I'm intrigued by this. 7'3"? That's like a Wemby for the WNBA because most of the centers in the WNBA are 6'5". Woo! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Can you say Margot Didet from China? Hello. Hello, Mark Eaton size center. Hello. See, that sounds intriguing to me right there. That sounds intriguing to me right there. Right there. That's right. Chloe Kitts. Well, is Colin and Chloe still cool? I don't know if they're together anymore. There's all the signs in the world they're not. And would that be awkward? If Colin's playing for the Raptors and Chloe, I don't know, maybe his ex, maybe not. I don't know. They could be still together privately. Is on the tempo in the same city. That could be awkward. That could be awkward there. That's right. Trevor J saying this. Morrow put up numbers against the teams that beat the tempo this season. The Dream and the Minnesota Lynx. Okay. Well, I want to see how she does with us in our lineup. And the great thing is when you go to an expansion team, even though she's been on a bad team and there's a lot of opportunity in Connecticut, well, who knows? Maybe she'll get a bump in her stats. Maybe she'll get a bit more minutes. Maybe she will have a bit more flourishing. Yeah. Yeah. I hope to see that with her. I hope that she can expand her game here in Toronto. Infamous is saying this. I think Cameron Brink is overrated. She's limited and stays on the injury list. Okay. We all have our opinions. Some of us are big fans of her. I won't say exactly who, but also some of us are seeing holes in her game. Interesting. Interesting. Kareem saying this, that streamer Neon Dude is a racist. No clue why Dylan is even hanging out with him. Oh, wait, because he's the villain. I didn't know that about the allegation about Neon. Neon is the advertised personality at the Pro-Am game they had last night. He was part of the draw. In some ways, that's a little scary, Dylan Brooks. If your Pro-Am game is you as the headliner, AJ Lawson second, and then the third person you're promoting is Neon, and where's the other players? Like, who are the other pro guys that were playing? I don't know. I didn't go, and I don't know exactly how it went down at Pan Am Center last night. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so you say he's a racist. He said some crazy shit. Interesting. Interesting. Isaac's saying this. I heard that Dylan Brooks has known about Kawhi for a while, and Adam Silver told him while sitting courtside at the Lakers game. That's what I heard too. And it was while Dylan was actively heckling LeBron James during the game at the end of the year. And he was just sitting there staring at him. And Adam Silver actually participated with him for a little while because he was wanting to get mad at LeBron a little early for holding up his decision this summer. So a villain stared him with Dylan at the sideline. And LeBron was like, "What the fuck are you doing, Kamish?" Yeah. Yeah, there you go. This is all true. I've heard this too, Isaac Campbell. Absolute facts. All of this is very true, as according to the great source, Dylan Brooks, a very reliable, trusted source on all things NBA. For sure, this is true. This is totally true right here. Major Sports Network has returned to our chat. Good morning, Major Sports Network. I hope you're doing very, very well. And welcome to August and Scotty Barnes' 25th birthday today. That's right. What do you think about the Sparks trying to dump Kelsey Plum? I'm new to the WNBA, but just from my kind of feelings of seeing what's happened this year, it seems like all right. She hasn't been on this team for long, right? Like, and she was an ace before, so she's got a championship with the Aces and Asia Wilson. I think it's just that, Plum probably has a certain standard for how she wants to play. I know that when we played earlier this season against the Sparks and she was healthy still, and we actually saw her, she was like the only one on the team doing anything of value for the most part. Like she was the only one. Like she was the only one that I was scared of. I was like, oh shit, Kelsey's getting pissed. And she's going to just go run off and get a whole bunch of points real quick. And that's dangerous. So I think it's a mutual thing. I don't think that she's upset about this at all. I think she's publicly said that. And it's the kind of thing that, like, I think she's going to end up on Portland. And it's really because they have the cap space. And in some ways, she fits with what they're trying to do on the Fire right now. So this could be the big acquisition next to Carlton that happens in the next 24 hours. Is that the Sparks ship her to Portland Fire, and we might actually see Kelsey Plum on their team when we play the Fire this week on Thursday. I don't know if she's going to be healthy or not, but she'll be on the bench and with them. So that's my prediction right there, Major Sports Network. And I think it's amicable. I think that it's just not working either way. The Sparks are like, yeah, you're a big contract. You're kind of a big player on our team, but we're kind of wanting to go in different direction. You're not happy here either. We know that. We can tell. You're not happy with all the losing. Maybe you don't feel like the Sparks franchise is holding a good enough standard of compete and doing things correctly. And you're like, yeah, let me get the fuck out of here. So, because it sounds like it's very mutual, the departure of Plum from the Sparks, very, very mutual. That's right. Trevor J saying this. Alex, so Adam called him first to give him the news like CNN. I know you. That's so ridiculous, isn't it, Trevor? I'm glad I got you rolling on the floor laughing about that one. That's part of what I do on this show. There's a comedy to this show for sure. I may riff and say crazy shit. I may have a beaver puppet, but there is an entertainment value to some of the improvisational shit I just come up with. I did not plan that before the show. That was spur of the moment, and I enacted that just right in front of you. Most of the show is this. None of this is planned, except for I know what I'm going to talk about with the basketball that I watched and the content I watched. But sometimes there's places we go that are totally improvised. And that call between Adam Silver and Dylan was just something I made up just now, which is hilarious, right? It's hilarious, Trevor, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty funny. Kaz is saying I would start Morrow over Izzy, but that's just me. She was coming off the bench with the Liberty. Man, I don't want to do that to my girl Izzy, man. Izzy is like one of my favorites right now. In some ways, I want to protect her like RJ in some ways. Seriously, I really do. Like, I just love Isabel Harrison. I love her so much. In some ways, I won't just do this right off the bat, Cass. And Sandy won't either. Let's not get it twisted. Niara got healthy again. Isabel gets healthy again. They don't go right back to the starting lineup. They have to have a tune-up game where they come off the bench, just like Sabally did in the last game. In fact, Sabally, she's still messed up. There's news out right now that her ribs are still very much hurting her and that she may actually miss at least one of the Valkyries games coming up. So, no, I think Morrow is going to have to show up and come in and acclimate through the bench first, compete for starting. And who knows, Sandy might put her in the starting lineup, but I want to have a look at her first before I would sign off on that opinion like you. And Harrison, oh my gosh, I was at her first game that she played of the season when we played Chicago Sky. I was there in person, and she was electric. She was so good, and she actually did start that game, even though she was just coming in from injury. Nah, I think that was part of what they sold Izzy on to come to Toronto is that you'll be a starter. So I don't see this, Cass. I don't see this. Even if you think that Morrow might be better or what, the other thing you've got to factor in is seniority. This is a factor in basketball. A lot of youngsters come up and think they just get it handed to them. But no, years in the league matter. And if you have some more years than the other person, it's more likely you got to wait your turn for them. And then if they don't play well, you get your spot and maybe you take their spot from them then. So we got to see Morrow on our team and the fit before I would just give her a starting spot, just willy-nilly. That's what I would say right there. Nameless is saying this, and proof request Kawhi Leonard's first phone call to Scotty Barnes. Okay, you want to do that? All right. Improv request. It's improv. It's spelled correct. I get what he's saying here. All right, here we go. We're going to do it this way right here. Hey, guys, shut up. Shut up. Yo, shut up, man. Scotty's got a call. Scotty's got a call. Yo, shut up. Yeah, shut up, Lloyd. Shut up. Hey, who is this? Hello? Who's this? Oh, shit, it's Kawhi, y'all. Seriously, it's Kawhi. Yeah? Yeah? What? Wow. No way. Kawhi's wishing me a happy birthday, y'all. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll see you in Quebec City. Okay. All right. All right, thanks, Kawhi. Man, holy shit. Kawhi has my phone number, y'all. Seriously. He just wished me a happy birthday. What did he tell you, Scott? What did he tell you? I can't tell you what he told me. He told me stuff about Raptors and what we're going to do. And I can't tell you. It's between us. Oh, okay. All right. Well, happy birthday, Scott. I don't know. Is that good? I like that he actually did a request. I love that. I want these requests, y'all. If somebody did a request every day, I'd be happy. Even if it's goofy and I don't totally do a good job, that was okay, right? It wasn't as funny as the Dylan and Adam stuff earlier. But still, I was improvising. Kawhi Leonard's first phone call to Scotty. I wasn't going to do Kawhi's voice. I didn't feel like doing it right now. In some ways, I don't feel like doing it right now. So Kareem's saying this. I want to hear a phone call of Kawhi calling Quack this guy, giving him his props for giving him the idea of planting trees. Also, maybe them arranging a date so Cactus Guy gives him his housewarming gift. Nah, all right. I don't want to overdo it. Like I just said, I don't want to really like do an impression of Kawhi right now. Yeah, and the whole Quack this guy, like that's the time and a place. Maybe he's a legend in Raptors fandom, and he'll never be forgotten. But I don't know. Are we going to ever see him again? Maybe. I don't know. He may have been just that one place. And this is too sensitive. You can't be fucking talking about planting trees. What the fuck are you doing here, Kareem Thomas? We're trying to get past this, and we don't need to bring it up. All right, KT saying this. Cameron Brink is perfect on buying low after ACL tear, but seems like her value is really high still. Fuck it. Bring Edwards home. Keep waving that shiny first pick outside the Suns executive boardroom. The Sun executive. The Sun. It's not pluralized. You say Suns, you're going to say Phoenix. Sun is Connecticut. I do like the idea of Aaliyah Edwards coming back to Toronto. I do like that part of it. I think that once again, we make one move and everybody's looking for the second and third move. And everybody needs to just chill. It's like it's you don't make huge moves over and over again like in succession. Y'all are dopamine rushed right now. Oh, Moro, put it right into my mainline and deals in the WNBA. Oh, I'm so high off the Nissa Moro. Woo! I feel I need another hit. Give me another one. Can we get Brink? Oh, can we get Edwards? You guys need to stop with this shit. Seriously, y'all need to stop with this. It's like you can fuck up a team by over making moves. We've got to do it incrementally. We've got to do like one move, check it, see how Moro fits, see how it works, because that may be enough. This has been classic problem for the Knicks for decades. And they got it right finally, won it this year. But one of the biggest reasons why the Knicks didn't win any championships for like 50 years almost was because they over moved stuff all the time. All the time. They do one move and then everybody be junkies about it. Like, oh, we got to do another one. And then they do like 3 moves in the offseason and their team is completely different. And it could have very well been a couple times in their whole history. There was a move that they should have stopped at and didn't do the next couple moves and they would have been fine, but they over moved. And this is what I'm saying to you guys. This culture of social media and everything's dopamine rushing everybody. You're addicts and you're getting to be trade addicts. And this is half of the noise on social media is people just lusting and thirsting for that dopamine hit of the next move that makes them feel high of Moro, put it right in my veins kind of shit. I'm telling y'all need help. We need rehab for y'all so you can understand this phenomena. Just stop. We got Moro. She hasn't even hit the court for us yet. Let's see this first, all in its right order. You know, I know the trade deadline is tomorrow, but that don't mean we need to make more trades right this second. Come on. I'm actually really shocked we made a trade, but I'm happy we did. You know, I'm used to the Raptors. They don't do trades. They don't do stuff. Oh, yeah, it's trade deadline. Who cares? We're moving right past it. Let's see. All right. Let's see what else you guys are saying this morning. Trevor's saying this. Lex, Tempo isn't the only players that eat junk food because I follow lots of them on Instagram. They all do it the same thing. Well, then if it's no competitive edge and eating junk food because the whole WNBA is doing it, somebody's going to figure it out and they'll be like Michael Jordan and say, I'm not doing any of this shit. I'm just disciplined. I'm a Nisa. I have abs of steel. You think I get abs of steel eating a whole box of Timbits? No, I don't. No, I don't. You think I have abs of steel because I'm fucking drinking all these frothy drinks with all the sugar and shit? No, I don't. No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. So this could be that point. Like, oh, WNBA players, listen to me. You want to be a competitive edge? Get healthy, have good nutrition, take care of your body. You might actually be better than most of the other people because they're all eating the junk food. That's it right there. That's what I'd say right there. That's it right there. That's right. But Trevor's probably right. I mean, look, I like this kind of content on social media where people try stuff for the first time and they're like reacting to it. It's cool. Like I've enjoyed watching Niara and Marina trade drinks and try them. And like, Marina's not a matcha person. And seeing her try Niara's matcha was hilarious. This was gold content. Like her face, like all like that and stuff. That's good content. I'm not hating on that. And listen, they can live their lives. I don't want to micromanage them. I'm just giving some friendly advice. That's all. Just some friendly advice. Live your life. Have a good time. That's right. That's right. Mr. Greg is here. Good morning, Mr. Greg. The esteemed Mr. Greg, and I appreciate his streak is still alive. And I hope that things are swimmingly moving with your condo renovations and there's no issues. That's right. Nameless is laughing his ass off. Major Sports agrees with me about the dopamine rush of WNBA and NBA fans that just want the next move and just are like crazy about it and won't shut up about it. So much speculation, so much talk. I've heard so much about Steph Curry coming to Toronto this past 2 weeks. And I'm just like, really, guys? Come on now. Really? This man's been on the Warriors his whole entire career. And you think he's going to come to Toronto all of a sudden like this? First of all, how does that happen? We got to trade quickly and somebody else for him if he's going to be on this team. And I don't see that. I do not see that. I do not see that. I love Steph Curry. If Steph Curry was a Raptor, I'd be overjoyed. But y'all are speculating hard and y'all are crazy. And you just want some dopamine, crazy, fresh, new feel dopamine rush in your head, serotonin rush, all this kind of shit. Yeah, it's what it is right there. KT saying it's the old addict in me. Laugh out loud. I always want more. See, that's the thing, Kareem. And we know this. And you know what? I'll condone this. It's much better for you to be an addict for transactions in basketball than an addict for alcohol. So I appreciate this switch. So if this is how it's got to be, well, this is the safe choice, and I'll allow it if it keeps you away from the bottle like me. That's right. I'll talk about this openly because he's openly talked to me about it, and we're open about it on this channel. I'm not busting his chops or doing any rules against AA about privacy. I'm very open about it. He's very open about it, and we talk about it openly on this channel. So I'm okay with a switch. If you want to have this as your addiction, this is harmless in some ways. It's just annoying to me. That's all. It's just annoying to me, but it's a good trade. It's a good trade. All right. It's a good trade. It's like DZ saying, improv the phone call Tim Apuye got from Monica. All right. We'll do this one. We'll do this one because this one is crazy. All right. I'm going to be respectful here. Seriously, in some ways. It's like DZ, good morning. King of Classic Card, good to see you. All right. All right. And thank you for you guys for supporting the channel. All right. Hello? Hello? Oh, bonjour. Oh, hi, Tima. Hi, it's Monica. Hi. Yes. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I guess you heard what just happened, right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're wondering why I'm calling you. Yeah. This is awkward, but I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to waive you. We have to make room. We don't have every roster spot in the world, and you've done such a good job for us. We love you. We think you've done such a good job. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, maybe there'll be other opportunities coming. There's a tape on you now in the WNBA, and they can watch you. Maybe somebody else will call you soon. Who knows? I know. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Bye. Awkward. I made that one realistic and not really kind of funny. Yeah, it's sad. This is sad, man. This is the kind of thing. It's like Tim Apuye. There could have been so much more. I can understand. That's right. We'll never forget original tempo player Tim Apuye, either with Lexi Held, or Mariella Fazula, or Nina Milic. No, we won't forget you, ladies. Your names will always be etched into the stats for the first year of the Toronto Tempo. You will be in there like Vincenzo Esposito for the Toronto Raptors, and people like Chris Whitney and Clifford Rozier. Yes, you will have your names in the history books associated with the Toronto Tempo forever, even if you're not on the team anymore, Timma. That's right. That's just how it goes. That's right. KT saying this. I need to call Trade Addict Helpline. Listen, just don't get FanDuel, okay? That's all I'll say to you. Don't get FanDuel. Don't get Bet Rivers. Don't get the shit, okay? Stay away from the betting apps. That's a dangerous place. It's a dangerous place for me. It's a dangerous place for anybody. It has an addiction problem. Do not get on the betting apps. That's what I'll say, KT. You go ahead and mock draft away on ESPN all you want. Just don't get on the betting drafts, okay? Don't get on those apps. That's right. Major Sports Network saying, I think the Tempo are a good team. They just had some bad luck with injuries, for sure. For sure. And it's really tough. I was saying this the other day, Major Sports, and you can probably very much understand this, being a longtime WNBA fan and somebody that knows the league better than me. I really feel like the biggest problem that the Tempo have had in comparison to the teams they're playing right now in the season is they don't know their identity. It really is tough when you don't have the ability to have your whole team on the court the whole season and you're a first-year team trying to sort out who you are and figure out connections and chemistry and stuff when you can't have everybody there. So at this stretch run of the season, it's a lot more pronounced when we play teams like the Lynx and the Valkyries coming up for the next 2 games because they're going on their stretch run for the playoffs and trying to go for a championship. And meanwhile, we're still trying to sort out who we are, just like a team would do in the first month or 2 of the season. So we're at a disadvantage. We're at a place where, in some ways, I tell Tempo fans right now, don't expect us to compete. Partly because we're on a West Coast trip. We're not going to be at home hardly at all for the rest of the season. And that fact that I just mentioned about where we are with our gelling and who we are as far as a team and connection stuff. We're at a big disadvantage. We're going against teams that have been together for years and they are really amped up and they are going for stuff in competitive ways. And we just aren't on that level right now. We can't be. And the injuries robbed that of it. We could have been kind of figuring out our identity. And I don't know exactly what's been going on with Portland because I don't watch them very closely. And they may have more of an identity on their team already because of the lack of injuries compared to us. But that's been the big part is right there, the double whammy. We're a first-year team and we got hit with massive injuries in the first year. So we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. Yeah, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. Nameless is saying trade junkies. That's right. That's right. We're going to talk about this, the trade junkies. You need rehab for trade junkiism. That's right. Raptors Reddit is rife with it. I'm telling you, man, it's like a crack house of trade junkies and Raptors Reddit. Oh my gosh. I'm sure it's in a lot of nations. This is probably a horrible problem in LA with the Lakers. The Lakers have a crazy trade junkie crack house of all kinds of crazy people over there saying crazy shit all the time. That's right. You admit it, you're a trade junkie. Well, admitting it is the first step. Kareem Thomas. Hi, my name is Kareem Thomas, and I have a problem. I have a problem. That's right. And I'm not making fun of the rooms that I go to, but this is true. But it's not a serious problem. You're not hurting anybody. You're annoying me. That's all. That's it. That's enough. That's fine. Yeah. Amazing show. Thank you. Thank you. Let's do some other stuff. Let's talk about some other things here. I have so much I want to talk about with the Canadian Elite Basketball League, guys. Telling you right now, Canadian Elite Basketball League action is going off right now. Last night, there were 3 games in the league, and they were very important for certain teams in the East, but they fumbled. The West was dominant last night. In the first game of the night, it was Ottawa Blackjacks visiting the Winnipeg Sea Bears in the mecca of the Canadian Elite Basketball League, the same arena that the Winnipeg Jets play in. So they get huge crowds there. And, well, it was the Winnipeg Sea Bears coming out on top over the Blackjacks, much to the chagrin of our Blackjacks fans here in the Raptor Freak family. They had the chance. They fumbled. They needed this win so bad. Javonte Smart wanted it so bad. But the Sea Bears did win and held them off. And this makes it really tough for Ottawa in some ways because they're in the standings right now, one less win than the other teams above them, and they're on the outside looking in. The Ottawa Blackjacks absolutely have to win their last game of the season, which will be tomorrow against the Edmonton Stingers, and that'll be a 6 p.m. game out in Edmonton. But yeah, they absolutely have to win that game, or they're not in the playoffs. It's do or die. And even then, I think they may lose the tiebreaker. No, they'll be in the playoffs if they do win that game, and Montreal will be out. So, oh my gosh, such an important game. They fumbled it, and Winnipeg won. Teddy Allen and the crew did the job and got the job done. The leading scorer for this Winnipeg Sea Bears was Xavier Moon, kin to Jamario Moon, 29 points in the win. And on the other side for the Ottawa Blackjacks, 39 points for Javonte Smart, former NBA player. Wow. Really, really big fumble by Ottawa. They needed that one bad. Another game that was East versus West last night. Niagara was in Calgary, and they really needed to win their game too. They were losing most of the game. Then they came back in the fourth quarter, and they were winning big in stoppage time in the target score time. But then Calgary surged up and gave a last-second win to the home crowd in the last game of the season for them. Even though they are eliminated from the playoffs, they did a good job giving a home crowd something to send off into the offseason by beating the two-time champion, Niagara River Lions, last night. And the River Lions needed this one bad, and Calgary didn't need it. They were just spoiling. So 81-76 win for Surge. The leading score for them was Adeline Dune. He had 18 points, 16 points for Cheney, and 14 points for Marlon Johnson Jr. And for Niagara on the losing side, Khalil Ahmad had 21. Big fumble by the River Lions in that game. And then a West versus West matchup, a 10-point win for Saskatoon over Edmonton. So the playoffs are getting figured out more and more. In fact, the playoff bracket is filled in a little bit more. Scarborough is, of course, the number one seed in the whole playoffs. But in the East, Edmonton and Saskatoon have found their spots. Edmonton will be the 4th seed, and Saskatoon will be the 3rd seed. And they're waiting on to see who wins this Vancouver-Winnipeg game this weekend. That will determine the number 1 and 2 in the West. Brampton is established themselves as the 2nd seed in the East after Scarborough, and we will see if they will play Niagara. Probably is what is likely, and Scarborough will probably be playing either Ottawa or Montreal, depending on the rest of the season. The Alliance are done with their season. They have no more games, so they can only have 10 wins. Ottawa wins their last game, and they tie them. I think Montreal's out, and Ottawa's in. So it's a must-win for the Blackjacks in their last game in Edmonton tomorrow. Today, there is one game on the schedule, and it will be Scarborough at Brampton today. And Scarborough's going for 20 wins in a 24-game season. So they only have 4 losses. They're 18-4 right now, and they want to finish perfect out with a home-and-home against the Brampton Honey Badgers, partly owned by Mark Cuban. So, yeah, this is an important game. 7 p.m. tip-off tonight on YouTube. If you're in Brampton, go to the game at CAA Center and watch it in person. Yeah, the CEBL play action right now is so intense and competitive because these teams are really fighting for playoff seeding, and it's so good. And the playoffs are going to be intense next week. Tomorrow, Winnipeg and Vancouver, key game, and Ottawa and Edmonton, very key game. So only a few games left in this season, and they're sorting out the seeds and who's going to play each other. So, yeah, check it all out, y'all. CEBL action is fantastic. It really is. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat. You guys have some more things. Kayla Alexander. Yeah, Kayla Alexander is no longer on the tempo right now. The hardship contracts ran out just before the All-Star break, and she did not return to the team after the All-Star break. So, yeah, Kayla's not on the team currently right now, guys, just so you know. Isaac saying, Uncle Dennis calling local Toronto wine and dine businesses, asking if their food perk is still applied, poorly concealing his identity. You want me to do that? Man, you guys are overdoing it now. It's okay to do it like once or twice. It's kind of like the Scouter today. But me overdoing it might get tired. I'll just do one quick little bit for this, okay? Hello? Is this Rasta Pasta? Yeah, you had Quine and Dine 6 years ago. I would like to see if that's still in effect. No, I'm not Kawhi. Um, well, what do you mean? Oh, it was only for Kawhi Leonard? Well, what if I told you I'm kind of like Kawhi Leonard? What do you mean? Oh, you do know who this is. Oh, okay. Well, sorry. All right. Yeah. Okay. You're not even Rasta Pasta anymore? Oh, you changed. Oh, okay. And the Quine and Dine is not going on anymore. Oh, okay. I thought it would be still. Hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you. I don't know. I don't know. These are weird improvs, y'all. In some ways, we gotta, I guess that's kind of funny. I guess. Kareem saying this: I'm calling on President to give Kyrie Irving the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his immense act of bravery during one of the. All right, you know what? I'm gonna fuck you up right now for this. All right, I must lay the smack down. All right, I'm very disappointed right now because some people are showing that they're stupid right now, and KT's one of them. I'm gonna say this right now, and y'all can be different with me on your stance on vaccines and science, but science is science, and science don't change just because a child rapist is in the front in the White House. Okay, you don't understand what's going on with Fossey right now. I'll elaborate for you real quick. This is a distraction witch hunt. Fossey ain't done nothing wrong. Fossey was a civil servant, a public servant who went above and beyond to try and save lives in America. All the lies about vaccines from anti-vax people is full of shit. They're the idiots. They're the liars. Vaccines work. They're science. And the whole dog and pony show that they've done to Fossey this past week is absolute horse crap. It's window dressing. It's distraction from things like Epstein, from the Iran war, from the crumbling economy, from the gas prices, from the grocery stores. See, the thing is right now, Kareem Thomas, is that MAGA and Donald Trump are in serious trouble right now, and they're playing old hits like they would on an old radio station. They're talking about 2020 and the pandemic all of a sudden again because they want to hit a hot button topic where some people like you are susceptible to be misled. Fossey is not doing anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He is a public servant. He is a scientist. He knows what he's fucking talking about. Every single person who's talking about Invectum or bleach or that shit, they're fucking idiots. And they cause people to die. This is a dog and pony show. If you have any kind of suspicion about the vaccine, I would tell you to let that shit go because I took the vaccine. I don't feel any worse for it. There's a lot of bullshit out there. And I'm actually kind of sad that you're falling for this shit. Fossey did not do anything wrong. In fact, him going up there and pleading the fifth is honestly, that's not him incriminating himself. That's him making himself absent from a dog and pony window dressing bullshit witch hunt show, is what this is. There's nothing of teeth or anything in what they're trying to do. This Congress is stupid as fuck. And this is a distraction. And in fact, they're playing a tune to try and get some people that are susceptible to being duped into getting all mad about this. So, no, we're not going to give the Congressional Medal of Honor to Kyrie Irving. He was still a knucklehead for being anti vax at that time. In fact, people that are still anti vax at this point are knuckleheads. The vaccines work, the vaccines are science. All the bullshit and horseshit and scaring people about the vaccines is absolute horseshit and is the hoax, is the conspiracy. You gonna believe the child rapists party and what they say about vaccines over scientists and people that you don't know their names because they have nothing in it to fucking lie to you? Science is still science, even if MAGA world's trying to tell you something else. So that's just the truth right there. That's just the truth. Yeah. Yeah. You hate that he pleads the fifth? Well, I would say this. Why is he even there? Like, seriously, he's only there for a distraction. Think about it from that point of perspective first. Why are they even fucking doing this right now? Why does Trump even bring up the 2020 election over and over again? Why is he trying to give money to the people who did January 6th? Because he's stuck in the past. And in some ways, he's destroying the present and he's ruining the future. And in some ways, he's a vindictive asshole. Fossey made him look stupid. Trump killed people in the United States unnecessarily was his misinformation and horrible leadership. Fosse was a hero at that time. In fact, he went above and beyond, and he's gone through so much shit. This bullshit that's happening this past week is putting death threats on an honorable man who did his job. Meanwhile, we're protecting a pedophile child rapist who's fucking grifting the whole entire country and all the taxpayers out of their own tax money left and right in different places. Who the fuck are we supposed to believe here? That's what I'm saying right here. So I would believe science and scientists and people that I don't know their names, because these fucking people are in professions that actually went to school and learned this shit. And that's the whole biggest problem right now. He went up there and did plead the fifth because, you know what? He was above this whole fucking charade. He only showed up because they forced him to. And in some ways, it was a dog and pony show witch hunt, and they were just looking for shit. And they could say, oh, he pleaded the fifth, he pleaded the fifth. How many motherfuckers that are in the current administration have been pleading the fifth for all kinds of shit? Rick Scott, Medicaid, Donald Trump plead the fifth on so much shit and different things. You say it makes them look guilty. No, you know what this is? This is a good man named Fosse who's excluding himself from a dog and pony show, and he doesn't even have to participate in it. And that's why he's saying he's pleading the fifth. It's not because he has anything to hide. It's not because he did anything wrong. It's because he's above this fucking bullshit and this horse show that they just fucking threw him into. And in some ways, they're putting him in danger. Seriously. They're stoking fires of ignorant people who think that he did something wrong. I mean, I'm disappointed in Keon Clark, the great Raptor. He's posting shit on Facebook about Fosse right now, how he's mad at him, all this stuff. It's really bad. It's misinformation in action. And people have to realize science is still science, no matter how MAGA world's trying to pervert the perception of the world. Science is still science. And Fosse is a hero. And intelligent people that understand science and understand the world understand this. And anybody who thinks that Fosse's wrong for pleading the fifth, well, I'll tell you right now, he doesn't want to be a part of this circus. And in some ways, he's better off just not saying anything in there, because think about it. They'll digest anything he says that seems like it's weird or just kind of inferring something, and it'll become a huge headline. And it'll go crazy, and everybody will be like this and that. You know, these people don't want anything good for him. They're witch hunting him. And if he can plead the fifth in this situation when he's wrongfully up there for any kind of reason in the first place, I can see exactly why he did it. It's critical thinking, once again, Kareem Thomas. In some ways, they're witch hunting him, and in some ways, he's protecting himself because he shouldn't be there in the first place because he didn't do anything wrong. That's it right there. That's it right there. That's what I'll say. And I mean, Kyrie, I have respect for on the Gaza issues. I have a respect for him on so many different things. I don't totally respect him for how anti-vax he was and the influence he had in that case. And in some ways, the thing you posted in our Discord yesterday, I didn't approve of it. I didn't like it at all. In some ways, I thought it was full of shit. And I'm very disappointed in Keon Clark. I will say that also. Yeah. KT saying, great show. I'm out. Also, I'm beating the dog shit out of Scott Skiles' sisters in fantasy. Yeah, you're doing pretty good in it. From what I can see. That's right. You are winning your matchup. I'm glad you've had an interest in playing this year and you've been active. That's been very good. There's been some years you've kind of been, half-ass, not full-ass. Neil's watching. Okay. Major Sports saying your future's bright, Tempo. I wouldn't start trading players. I think you have to give them a chance. Yeah. I mean, we were talking yesterday, kind of Major Sports, about which players we think are the nucleus and the keepers. Obviously, Kiki Rice. I'm partial to Mabry over Sykes if we're going to keep one of the two of them for the long term. Niara has got a lot of really good stuff with Olaf and Sandy and promise for development. Tiani Key's been a great second-round pick for us this year. Conde and Yescada have a lot of value and interesting things with them. So we're kind of figuring out, because we know there's going to be turnover with the team. I really do think that Temmie's probably only going to be here for a little bit. Isabel remains to be seen, So we'll have to see how we shift things around and how we improve. That's it right there. Yeah, Isaac saying, don't fall into the trap set by the merchants of doubt. Yeah, my whole thing about Fosse is like, this is so crazy. This man didn't ask for all this shit. He was put in one of the most difficult positions. He was a man of science and a man of health and standards, and he was in the middle of a pandemic where people were dying, and you actively have a crazy-ass child rapist pedophile president who's giving everybody wrong information and holding back helping people. And we had so many unnecessary deaths in the United States during COVID. And Fossey, in some ways, was the dude who was just trying to be a voice of information and teaching people and telling people the best thing for us to do. The thing about the vaccine research that happened at the time was that it was accelerated. And in some ways, they'll pull apart, like, well, this is all fucked up in this. They'll take like one case of something that happened where someone had one bad, really bad reaction, and they'll blow it up and say this is common everywhere. There was so much misinformation about it. The science is science. This is stuff that people have been putting in the works for years and years and years ahead. In some ways, some of the stuff with the material that they use for vaccines is controversial. And some people that are kind of weird, maybe some of them are very religious and they don't believe you should be doing certain things with certain parts of your body and DNA. They are jumping in with their own views on it and putting all kinds of crazy spins on it. But they don't have a problem with people using fetus cells for stem cell research and shit like that. Otherwise, it's a hypocritical shit. Science is science, and scientists should be doing science, not fucking pundits on social media and not fucking child rapists that are running the United States, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And doctors with doctors in front of their names know what they're talking about. That's the thing right there. That's the thing we all got to start remembering here. That's right. KT saying, I love you, Lex. I also took the vaccine 3 times. I just hate when you plead the 5th. It looks kind of suspicious sometimes. No, I get that. But can you understand his reasons for doing it? These people are witch hunting him. They want him to step into a minefield of folly by misstaying something where they can come in and just jump all over him for something crazy. He could say the truth. He could say everything and answer all their questions, and they will look at it from their perspective and they'll twist it and they'll use sound bites and they'll fucking come after him even worse. So I totally understand why he pleaded the 5th. In some ways, if you're an innocent person and you have nothing to worry about, in some ways you would say, yeah, well, just say what you have to say. But this is not what this is. This is a witch hunt, and they're actively trying to figure something out. They want that thread to pull apart and come after him. And even if he told them the truth and he said everything straight up, they would probably read it through their lens and their perspective, and they would spin it and they'd put it all over the media in some ways. Because also we got to remember the mass media in the United States is bought and paid for by the very richest billionaires at this point. And they'll fully get on board with smear campaigning somebody, even if it's not just or right. So that's a lot to that. Yeah, you get that? Because if he spoke, they would ask more. It's not even about asking more. It's about, you got to understand, these dog and pony shows that Congress is doing, including the Caitlin Clark WNBA attention right now, a lot of it's just window dressing and distraction from current events. This war is awful. This war is a huge failure. The Epstein thing is not going away. Nobody wants to forget about it. And there are actively people fighting to release the unredacted version of it. The tax evasion stuff, the stuff he won't even do as attorney general because he's so scared of his taxes coming out. There's so many different things coming at him, and he needs distractions. So he plays his old hits, his greatest hits. And his greatest hits are the 2020 election were stolen. I need to give money to the January 6th insurrectionists because they were harmed. And then the other one he's doing right now is the Fossey shit and bringing up COVID again, because COVID is such a hot button topic. So many people get emotional about it that he's really playing them like a piano is what it is. So don't let them play you like a piano, and understand what it is. See right through it. That's what I'd say to that. That's what I say to that. Yeah, I love you too, man. And I took 2 of them. I didn't even take 3. So in some ways I took 2 of them. And, I don't have any regrets about it. And I don't think anything weird happened to my body afterwards. Y'all, let's do the straight goods on Canadian goods. A huge sponsor for the Canadian Elite Basketball League is Cal Tire. Cal Tire is a tire dealer and service provider for retail and commercial and mining customers. They provide tires. They're like Firestone, but they're a straight up Canadian company that's based in Vernon, British Columbia. So y'all, if you need your tires changed, if you need to go get new tires, go to one of the biggest sponsors of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. That's Cal Tire. I'm sure there's a location near you. There's 270 stores across Canada, and they can help you out. They got all kinds of different stuff there. It's like an AutoZone. So get down to Cal Tire and let's support our Canadian corporations and our Canadian companies up here. And Cal Tire is your tire source for Canadian stuff. Proud sponsor, official sponsor of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. Yeah. And I want to say once again, this is not paid promotioning. This is me doing it because I truly believe that Canada needs to support Canadian businesses right now. Oh, yeah, we do. Elbows up. That's right. Cal Tire, that's your spot. Let's check in with the HD real quick. I'm dabbling in human design these days, and I'm finding out more and more. We're in the gate of privacy, the gate of retreat among the revelation of secrets. And we're in day 2 of it, line 2. And the word for today is surrender. Surrender. That's right. The detriment for the surrender line, if it's used badly, is unlike the reasoned and calculated surrender with the exaltation, the deeper and personal surrender. The feeling that one's original position was a delusion and that impressionability that makes might right. A public embrace of powerful forces and a private resentment of their power. You know, if there is some sort of strong arm grab by the technocrat billionaire oligarchs through surveillance state, through AI, data centers, and watching all of us through our devices, we need to be ready. In some ways, they're going to pervert reality through AI, deep fakes, fake audios, all kinds of stuff. The dog and pony show that I just talked about. They're going to do all kinds of stuff. We have to remember what we already knew in our lives up until this point as adults, that what we knew of reality, because reality is going to be perverted and the perceptions around the world may be changing partly because they're manipulating it through all kinds of nefarious ways. So stay true to what you've already known. In some ways, the world may be changing rapidly very soon in the next couple of years. And we all need to be vigilant about what we know is true already in the natural world and what we've grown up, the morals, the values, the things that we thought about, we were learned in an analog world, a lot of us, but a lot of us after we came in a digital world with the internet and cell phones also. There's a period of time in between the computer becoming into rise, then social media, and now AI now. And every one of us knows what the world is at this point. We need to take note of it and take stock because things are going to shift and they're going to try and make the world's reality for us. And we don't want that. Trust me. We don't want that because they don't necessarily want good things for us. Let's just put it that way. And exaltation, surrender, is the recognition that surrender to superior forces can be an opportunity to expand one's strengths and eventually triumph. Embracing powerful forces in order to delay the foundation for future success. You know, if it's a devastating thing that happens to society where they just assume control and we have no rights anymore, and it becomes a true surveillance state dictatorship that's very, very dark and a dystopia, well, in some ways, it may be smart to surrender to it to an extent, but make good trouble on the down low and try and fuck it up from inside as you do it. So, yeah, this is really an interesting time period in the history of all time. This is in a pivotal place right now. And I don't think enough people are aware or awake to how pivotal and how much things are going to be shifting soon. And I want everybody to be taken care of and okay. That's my main thing that I care about. But trust me, the powers that be don't care about the same thing I care about. And we need to remember that. All right, there's my little dabble with HD. We're in gate 33, line 2 today. And the word for today is surrender. Yeah, make sure you're not surrendering in a way that you compromising your life for the rest of your life and the generations that will come after you, is what I would say right there. Yeah. Yeah. Select Easy saying, wait till they turn on those 6G towers. See, this is the crazy shit. They're trying to build infrastructure around us to drive up our energy costs and drain our water just to fucking run surveillance on us. Do we want this, people? No, we don't. And it's a unanimous, pretty much really strong push against data centers around the United States and Canada right now. And a lot of grassroots efforts to stop them are working. And they need to continue this because seriously, connect the dots. Think about what they're trying to do with this shit. They want to use the data centers to process data quicker so they can pinpoint people, they can pinpoint things, and they can be more powerful and they can extract people out of a needle, like out of a haystack. The data centers will run the information fast enough and they can try and figure out who the fuck they hate and they want to fucking take to ICE jail. That's the thing we got to realize here, guys, is the data centers are fucked and they're not good. They're not good in any kind of way. Anybody who's making an argument that we need data centers is full of shit. And it's really that the billionaire oligarchs want more control over our world and our society and over all of us. That's what this is. That's what it is. KT saying, I swear, breakfast takes so long to make and so fast to eat. Now I got a sink full of dishes. This is why I like going to Denny's. Have a blessed day, everyone. That's a nice palate cleanser on that one. All right, let me keep moving with the stream and a couple more tabs. I'm sure I might be finished soon. Let's see. Is there any breaking basketball news? I don't see any here. Of course, that breaking news about Morrow yesterday was just slightly after. Okay, here's our Raptors Redditor of the day. This is fun stuff, guys. There's a picture up on Devin Booker's Instagram at a golf tournament with the Raptor. We know the history between Devin Booker and our mascot from that game after the pandemic, where the Raptor was the only person in the crowd and he messed up Devin Booker's free throw shots. And Devin Booker asked the referee to escort the Raptor out of the arena, the empty arena, because no fans were there because of COVID. Well, it's been a fun, jokey thing since. And apparently the Raptors been with Devin Booker this week. Fun little crossover that Devin Booker posted the story captioning it, big link up. He's in Toronto for OVO golf event where the picture was taken and just attended a basketball event here in the city. So no hard feelings. This whole thing is funny. The relationship between Devin Booker and the Raptor. So yeah, there's your Raptors Redditor of the day. Thank you to Don't Waste My Time. Yeah, there's a lot of wasting time on Reddit. We want to say happy 25th birthday once again to Scotty Barnes. It's a big, huge milestone birthday for a young franchise face. Scotty, happy 25th birthday. I was such a joy to hang out with you on Twitch last night, interact with you, talk to you directly, and wish you a happy birthday to your face. That's right. Big 2-5 for Big 4. And so happy and joyous to see you with friends that love you and you guys having a good time this weekend, hanging out with the entourage. That's right. Scotty's got an entourage just like that show that used to be on HBO. And they run around, they globetrot, they go to different places like Morocco and Spain. So yeah, love seeing Scotty with people, his favorite people, his friends, and doing stuff out and about. And I want to say so much love and blessings to your children also, Scotty, and just the blessed, amazing life that you have as a leader of the Raptors. And just I'm so proud of you as our franchise player. You are such a real one for Toronto. We love you so much. And happy 25th birthday. That's what I have to say. That's the birthday for today. And it's only one birthday. It's Scott's birthday. Right. It's Scotty's birthday today. And that is it. All right. I guess we'll do the classic card and we'll get out of here. Criscom's here. Good morning, Criscom. No negativity. I appreciate Mobo's efforts, but did they pass on a player that could still be on the team? You know, I love Mobo too. I think that in some ways things were shifting, you know, in some ways, you know, part of it's the emergence of Colin, right? Colin's emerged and he's very much a big piece for the future. And, you know, if Kawhi's coming back, you know, Jonathan's a good, useful utility player. But, you know, in some ways, this is good for Jonathan because he can go to brighter pastures and maybe an expanded role. It's very similar to Grady. Change for Grady is good right now at his position in the NBA with where he got to last year with the Raptors. So, you know, they may actually be greener pastures for Mobo and Dick going to new teams from the Raptors right now. So I think it's a good thing for Jonathan. And you know what? I'm not totally worried about what the Raptors are missing out from him being gone. Who knows? It's possible that Jonathan could circle back after a couple years somewhere else, and he's a Raptor for a second time later in his career. That's always possible, right? Especially if his best friend's the franchise face, and he's able to come back for that. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Kareem saying Filipowski, but he's a weirdo. Yeah, who cares about Filipowski? Filipowski has a little bit of an axe to grind with the Raptors organization because we passed on him and took Mobo, but that's his own damn problem. He fits in Utah. He's perfect for there. His Mormon faith, it fits exactly with the team he's on in Utah Jazz. So it worked out for him. We shouldn't have taken him. I didn't want him up here, him dating his babysitter and all this kind of stuff. No, we didn't need that. We didn't need that energy, Kyle Filipowski. He's perfect in Utah. If he has some problem with getting passed over by Jonathan Mogbo, well, that's his own problem. And he's shown it when he plays us. He has revenge games against us. He does get up when he plays the Raptors. And he does have that energy like what I just described. All right, let's get that card. Let's get that card. I think I've talked about most I want to talk about. Moro, Scotty on Twitch, CBL, Jonathan. Yep, those are the things I want to talk about today. All right, we'll do this card. This is a good classic one. Y'all be ready. Full name answer on this classic Detroit Piston. We see Sean Bradley's on the card. Let me get it so it's not bright like that. Yeah, Sean Bradley in the back from the Sixers days. But yeah, who is that player for the Pistons? Number 6 right there. I want a full name answer on the classic card of the day. You get the trivia points for the classic card of the day. That's right. Who do you guys think this is? If you guys give me a guess, I'll go ahead and give you, I'll give you a clue on his name. Who's that in the corner hiding there? I don't know who that is. I can't tell. Terry Mills. Slug Deezy knows. The King of the Classic card comes through once again. That is the great Terry Mills, a power forward that could shoot threes. Before, most people were like that. That type in the NBA was not very common. Terry Mills was one of the first fours that shot a lot of threes in the NBA. Like Dirk Nowitzki was after him, actually. So, yeah. Stacey King. No, it's not the late, great Stacey King. It's Terry Mills. And for the card, I'm going to give Slug Deezy 150 points because that's been kind of what I've been given for that caliber of player from that long ago is 150 points. Terry Mills, formerly of the Detroit Pistons. All right, let me put it in, and I'll do the real-time scoring so you guys know how you stand. Slug Deezy's in the lead, I believe, and Stargate is second. 150, and we'll go to the score sheet. Hang on. Score sheet. Yeah, I got to finish up. I'm right at 2 hours. This is perfect. Yeah, I appreciate everybody sharing the love for Jonathan today. Listen, Mobo's got a bright future still, even if it's not on the Raptors, and we'll be keeping tabs on him. You guys know, once a Raptor, always a Raptor. We'll be celebrating Mobo just like we celebrate Sandro and Grady and Brandon. We'll be celebrating them all. All right, so it's going to be 2350 is where Slug Deezy is now. 2350, so he's 500 points ahead of Stargate now in the lead. Fiercey at 1631. All right, y'all. I guess I'll finish it up right now. Yeah, Terry Mills. Wasn't he also on Charlotte? I think he might have been. I also remember him playing for the Bucks. I think he was on Milwaukee. Yeah. He looks like Lou Rowe. Lou Rowe? Who's Lou Rowe? W Stream, W Community. Thank you, Cass. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, join the channel if you want to as a member, if you want to support me. If I'm serious, share stuff from my channel, like clip me out if you want. If you like one little section that I talked about and you want to clip me out and share me on social media somewhere, I have no problem with that. I don't get upset when people do that. In fact, I really kind of wanted to clip out my whole hour on Kawhi Leonard aspiration update a couple days ago and post it separate because I feel like it's something that people in Raptors Nation need to watch and understand better, right? But yeah, I wish you guys all a very happy Scotty Barnes birthday. That's right. Happy birthday, Scotty. And thank you once again, Scotty, Lloyd, Jay Simpson, Nardo, and Nick and the crew for being on Twitch last night. And you know, it's Scotty that did that. Scotty wants to be connected to the fans. He loves being around the fans. We saw him in Vancouver in the last month with the kids camp and just how much he eats that up. It's just like Emmanuel Quickly at Raptors Academy this week too. And, you know, he wants that connection with the fans. That's the whole reason why he turned on the Twitch in the first place, was to have that bond and that connection with people like us. So I feel very fortunate that they decided to go on Twitch the eve of his 25th birthday, and we all got a chance to show our appreciation and wish him a happy birthday. So yeah, happy birthday, Scott. And JMO, we love you, man. We wish you the best in the next part of your NBA career. And we know you're going to be fantastic in Sacramento. So we'll be watching out for you, man. All right, guys, I'm out. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll have a preview for the Toronto Tempo at the Golden State Valkyries, the first game of this road trip that they're starting. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of West Coast playing coming up where we're going to be on West Coast time. So get ready to stay up, Tempo fans, if you're trying to watch the Tempo, because they're going to be at late times coming up in the next week. But Golden State, Toronto, Tomorrow, I'll have the preview with all the latest lineup news and the referee report. I love you guys. Thanks for watching me. Remember, science is science. It's still science, no matter how these guys are trying to pervert the reality that we live in. Just really, really be aware of what reality is versus perceived reality and perception framing and shaping, because they're going to want to try and tell you what you should think and what you should believe. And you can't do that. Oh, open gym's coming on soon. All right. We got to watch that. Blessings to you, Randolph Phillips. I love you guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go, Scotty Barnes, 25, baby. Yeah. Yeah.